Hi guys, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott Wilson. Today we're going to talk about a classic jazz album, 1959, Kind of Blue by Miles Davis. Probably a lot of people's first jazz album. It's the most popular jazz album ever and one of the best selling, and certainly at the top of Miles Davis's catalog. It's an audiophile favorite. It's very well recorded, and this edition is the one I bought in 1997. It's from Classic Records, and it was done at 33 RPM and 45 RPM. The 33 came first, and the story behind it is Bernie Grundman and Michael Hobson were able to obtain the 3-track master tape for the first time to cut this record all analog. Prior to that, earlier editions were simply cut from the regular master tape, which is, I guess, a 2-track master. So this is a special edition, and it always has been held in high esteem since it was released because of the sound. It's excellent. One of the best presentations of this music you can find. There is a couple of things about this edition that are interesting. It was released as a 2-record set. The backstory behind Kind of Blue, side 1, is that one of the tape machines was not running at the right speed. It was a little bit off. For some reason, they decided to release it as is, and that's the edition. That's the recording we've been listening to for 50 years, with side 1 slightly off. They corrected that for this version. What they did was, it's a 2-record set, as I said. The first record presents the record as it originally was, and the second record corrects the speed on side 1 and provides a bonus track called Flamenco Sketches. It's an alternative take from the one on the album, and it's presented at 45 RPM. So that makes this a nice, interesting package with a few extra goodies, but the main thing is the mastering is phenomenal. And that brings me to its evolution to the UHQR from Analogue Productions. In the interim, Classic also released their 45 edition of this album, which is also highly regarded. This comes on 4 single discs, one-sided discs, and that supposedly has some theoretical advantage. I'm not sure I ever heard it, but I consider it kind of a waste of vinyl. But those blank sides can be useful for setting your anti-skate and tracking force. It's a nice, clean, blank side on each record. But this had some improvements in sound that come with 45 RPM mastering, a little more spacious, a little deeper bass, a little more clarity. Excellent as well. But what we're going to talk about is the evolution of the UHQR. So UHQR was a product developed by JVC Japan. It was an ultra high quality record, and it was used by a couple of companies, Telarc and Mobile Fidelity, for their premium series of releases. They were UHQRs, and what the UHQR is a flat profile record. So instead of the record tapering to a lip on the end, as most records are, the flat profile record is, like it says, flat across. Your stylus travels across, perfectly perpendicular to the record. And this does make some audible changes in the record for the better. What happened was Chad Kassem acquired the rights to the UHQR name, and what he's done is create his own UHQR record following similar principles, a flat profile, but he's also added Clarity vinyl, which is a special vinyl compound that he's developed over the years, I guess from the original Clarity vinyl that Classic used. It is a carbonless vinyl that provides a quieter playing surface. It's semi-transparent, like a milky white. I'll show it to you in a minute. So the UHQR, let's see, let me put it back together here. So it comes like this. Beautiful textured box with an inset artwork, separately printed, inlaid gold, embossing. Also on the end, there's embossing on a leatherette dowel, which is like a wooden spine. It makes it very sturdy. And back is blank with just a little information, but when you pull out the slipcase, you get a bunch of things in here. First there's a advert for some living stereo releases. Then the booklet that comes with it is very nicely done with photos and a new essay. I think a new essay and the original essay. There's two essays on this. And then there's a UHQR technical specifications manual, which is kind of fun. It tells all about the shape of the vinyl, the differences, everything that goes into creating the UHQR, including the presses they do it on, the plating master is noted in here as well. And yeah, so that's an interesting piece of the puzzle here. Okay, here's the last of it. So, contrary to Mobile Fidelity's one-step series, which is their premium series, they don't, this includes a gatefold sleeve that you can keep on your shelf if you choose to. The Mobile Fidelity is a little more cumbersome as far as a box set is concerned. It doesn't have an original cover in there, original jacket. It's custom designed jackets. I don't know, it's just, I like this presentation a lot better than that. It seems less bulky. You can keep it on your shelf and just slide out the slipcase without having to go into the opening a box and etc. It's also, the box is also more durable than the Mobile Fidelity box, which can get scratched and scuffed pretty easily. So yeah, so this is done in a gatefold this time with beautiful session photos. It is numbered, embossed in gold. Mine is 2273. There are 25,000 copies of this limited edition. So there's quite a few that will be available. They're not available yet though. The record is in print. You can put a pre-order in for it or an order in for it. The first 6,000 were released to the first people that did pre-orders, and this is one of them. They're doing them in batches of 6,000 apparently, and that's so you're going to have a little wait to get this record if you order it, but it'll be worth it. Trust me, it's worth it. Okay, so let me show you the Clarity vinyl. Great reproduction of the label. A nice Clarity vinyl. It's a very solid album. It feels substantial in your hand. I guess it's 200 grams, I think. And yeah, the presentation is like very luxurious, to say the least. So what about the sound? So I listened to this initially on my system here, and later on an audio note system. And what I found was, especially apparent on the audio note system, of course, it's a much different system than mine and very revealing as well. But I did hear the same on both. It's obviously the same mastering, but for some reason, when I listened to it on the audio note system, the UHQR was much more engaging. I couldn't even speak during the whole thing. There was me and another fellow there, and we just looked at each other after it, speechless. We played the 33 first, the Kind of Blue 33 first from Classic Records, and we loved it. We loved it. I thought it was very well presented and just everything I remembered it to be. After that, we put on the UHQR, and I felt there were improvements to be had on the UHQR. It really did sound better. It was super clean. My copy happened to be pressed perfectly, and I hope that your copies are too. There's always, vinyl is a medium where sometimes pressing problems happen, and I'm sure if yours is anything less than perfect, that Acoustic Sounds will do right by you if you get it from them. So all in all, for $100, it's kind of a no-brainer. You need to get this record. If you at all are interested in Kind of Blue, there's a few options. Sony has put out regular editions for $24, which are very good. But if you want the best, and you don't want to pay for an out-of-print Classic Records version, the UHQR is a treat. I would definitely recommend you get it and put it in an order for it soon, because who knows, 25,000 may go quicker than we think. It's kind of a lot for this kind of pressing and this kind of expensive pressing. But vinyl is crazy now. You just have to get these things as they come out. I mean, everything I order that I want, I pre-order, even if I'm wondering maybe I want it, maybe I don't. I put it on pre-order because they don't charge you right away and you're sure to get one. If you wait, and even if it's an in-print album, you're gonna wait for a repressing, and that's gonna take time because everyone is backed up right now. So in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. Get this edition. If you love Kind of Blue, it's really well done, and it's an improvement on the Classic 33. I think you'll hear it. I certainly did, and I enjoyed it very much. As a matter of fact, I was struggling to come up with a word after the first side ended. I looked at my friend and I was like, sound is an odd term to use, luxurious. That's what I felt. It was like, it was so well balanced and so beautiful, and everything was just right. The detail, the tonality, the spaciousness. It's exhilarating to listen to this version, and I think you'll find that to be the case too, even on a modest system. So that's it for this comparison for today. Thank you for tuning in. Next thing coming up will be a talk about the Tone Poet series and their two new releases, Katanga and Witch Doctor, which sound very exotic. And they're not exotica. They look like it, but they're not. And that kind of surprised me. So I'll talk about that next time. For now, that's it. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you liking and subscribing. If you like this content, it would really help us to continue to get interesting content out to you. So thank you for tuning in. Take care.